I just want to start this video off by saying how much I love Call of Duty Zombies. I don't think there are any words that can truly describe how passionate I am for this mode. And I've been through it all. I've been through all the ups and downs, the highs, the lows. I was there for the Black Ops 3 beta weekend 1, and I was also there for the launch of Vanguard Zombies. Year after year, Zombies has just always had a special place in my heart, whether it was Exo Zombies, Infinite Warfare Zombies, World War II Zombies, or NWZ. To see how people perceive Call of Duty nowadays, it just really blows, man. Like, it's so sad. Nobody cares about this game anymore. No matter how much Activision tries, people have just drifted away. None of my friends play this game anymore. The core fan base is already gone. And it sucks to see that, because I love Call of Duty. For those like me who are still here, you know, I'm more on the zombie side more than anything. This is literally like the only game I play. You know, when I'm tired of the new COD, I always go back to the old shit, you know? You know, some days I'm not really feeling Black Ops 7 and all the fast-paced gameplay. I like to hop on Plutonium and have a blast on Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and it just feels like the good old days, you know, when I really need that refresher on what good Call of Duty is. And I'm not saying that Black Ops 7, you know, is not a good Call of Duty. I really like this Call of Duty. I really like Black Ops 6 too. But I should also say there are things that I didn't like about Black Ops 6 and I don't want to see happen again in Black Ops 7. So I've created a list of 50 things that I think can be improved on in Call of Duty that I just don't see anyone really talking about right now. And I really think a lot of these things that are on this list need to be addressed. I really don't like the idea of them, you know, playing catch up all year, and then when the next Call of Duty's out, when Modern Warfare 4 comes out, all the problems that were in Black Ops 7 that didn't get resolved just get swept under the rug and forgotten about. And it ruins the authenticity of the game that we paid for, that, you know, in a couple years may not be working properly. And that sucks. It was never a finished product on launch. It's always a promise with them. And I really feel like some of these things, if they were done correctly, if some of these things were just tweaked a little bit, I really feel like it would benefit this game's life cycle. And I didn't make these in order. We're kind of just gonna be floating around. Let's go. The first one that I have on my list is straight up scamming. Yes, you heard me right. Billion dollar company scamming real players. As I'm making this video, including myself, I have been scammed. If you go on the store right now and purchase the Apotheosis Zombies Universe Ultra Skin Tracer Pack Bundle, okay, I don't even remember how much this shit was, you will get scammed. Or at least I was scammed, because in here there is a equipment skin for the Molotov that makes it a PhD flopper perk bottle as your Molotov. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really buy this bundle for the raygun skin. I really like the Richtofen operator skin. I mean, this is a really nice skin, but I really was interested in this Molotov skin, you know? I thought it was super cool. So this was one of the reasons why I bought this bundle. And I basically paid 20 bucks for nothing. If you go into the lethals and you go to Molotovs, you'll see it says no skins. I go to skins, I can't, there's no PhD Molotov skin. It's just, sorry, we're not gonna give you this. Like, what's going on here? Why am I paying for things that I'm not receiving? It's like false advertisement. You're scamming me, you know? And it's not like that crazy, but it's my money. Like, if you think about it, if you're paying for this, you should be getting what you paid for. And I'm clearly not here, and it's just so frustrating because I bought this before Season 3 Reloaded even was out, so it's not like, you know, it was in the patch notes, or it's not like it was patched. It's completely under their radar. They have no idea that this is happening. So this is why I'm making this video, for things like this. So If they did listen and fix the lethal or equipment skins or score streak skins, if those don't even work, I have no idea because I don't have any. They should really, you know, go further with this. I think this is a cool idea if they did it right, obviously. They should do some cool zombies skin equipment. For example, the Casimir. Can't we have like a Gersh device skin? You know, make it a little bigger, but somehow still have the same animation of throwing it down. I don't know. Make it like the same color like the Gersh device or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe such as the Psych Grenade. Make it like the canister that crushed in the Modern Warfare Zombies intro cutscene. I don't know. Something like that. And this one can be kind of a stretch. I don't know. But what about implementing overclocks in zombies? Now, don't go too crazy with that. I'm only talking about, like, for example, doing an overclock for the monkey bomb to make it like how we had the upgraded monkey bombs in Black Ops 3, making the monkey bomb a little bit more useful, and a lot of other equipment that usually get overlooked, like the hunter bot or the stun grenade or the sight grenade. You know, I don't really use too much of that. So finding ways to make other equipment useful, I think would be pretty cool. Also adding new equipment to zombies. Throw in the ether blade. Don't make it like a one map side like Reckoning. Make it fully in the game. And you know what? I'm gonna throw in a bonus here. Bring back the Galvanuckles as a melee. Bro, imagine. And you know, don't do the same animation as the flatline or the chainsaw. Make it a new animation with the Galvanuckles. Make it faithful, just how it was. Make it a little bit powerful, you know? Throw it in as a weekly challenge reward. Let's keep going. The misinformation within the combat record. I don't really know if this problem persists within multiplayer's combat record or, you know, ranked play or Warzone or anything like that. I just mainly caught it for zombies. If you look at the maps here, you'll see in the bottom right, it says highest round 101 and highest exfil 44 for Ashes of the Damned. But if you click into it, it'll say highest round 26 and highest exfil 15. It's clearly wrong. You can look at the bottom right. It thinks I've played Ashes for 2 hours. I've only had 5 games of it. You know, this is just all wrong. I don't know where they're getting this information from. Again, with Astra Malorum, you can see the highest round is 21 and I didn't even exfil, and I've only played for 3 hours. Again, on Totenreich, where I have my highest round is 51 and I've only played 2 hours again with 3 games played. Mind you, I've literally all the relics. I've completed the Easter egg 4 times. So that right there just doesn't make any sense. And highest round 15 on Paradox. Let's go over to our stats here. If we go to maps on zombies, it literally says I have nothing for Ashes, which is completely wrong. You know, I've gotten round 100 as it said on the combat record. Here on Astra Malorum, you can see my highest round is 101 with 16 exfils. On Paradox, my highest round is 89. Yes, I have yet to get around 100 on this map. And a 101 on Totenreich. It's just completely wrong on the combat record. I have no idea how this is being tracked. The next game comes out and this game's finished. I want to have a correct, accurate lifetime record, you know? I'm one of those people that like looking back on my stats and, you know, seeing all this cool stuff. And it just sucks to see this, like, just not be correct. It says 3 games on Totenreich, but if you go to my recent matches, all these games are Totenreich. And this was just a day ago, 7 days ago, you know? Like, I don't know what's going on. Treyarch, please fix this. The next thing I wanted to talk about is weapons losing their zombie builds when you melee them out of the box. I've seen a couple people talking about this. I really wish this would get patched because you don't know how many times I'm constantly spinning the box, praying that I get a certain weapon, and I get the weapon and I think it's not it, and I accidentally melee it because I meleeed 40 weapons before the one weapon, and I accidentally melee it and lose the build that I was going for. And it's very frustrating. I really hope this gets patched. I want to talk about the lobby for a little bit because I've seen so many people complain about the endless walking operator that we've had since launch. And I'm pretty sure it was the same with Black Ops 6. I'm sure Treyarch knows that nobody really likes this. And it sucks that they're not changing this season to season. I remember in Cold War or even Modern Warfare 19, every season, yeah, we would have an operator walking endlessly, but the background would change, you know. It just sucks how we're just stuck in this red doom, endless doom. Change it up a little, give the lobby a new feel every now and then would be really nice. You know, if they haven't done it with season 1, 2, or 3, They're most likely not doing that. I'm just throwing it in here that a lot of people complain about this and they just don't really do anything about it. I do like how they simplified the zombies playlist a little bit better. Don't really like how they did additional modes, but it definitely looked better than what it did at the start of season 3. Like, it was just all in one page. Yeah, why did they remove zombie battle? Was I the only one who liked that mode? The next thing I want to talk about is the utter slop that we get in the store nowadays. I only have purchased 2 bundles in this game's life cycle. I purchased a lot of bundles in Black Ops 6. I learned the hard way when I realized Carry Forward got canceled, that none of my raygun skins or operator skins, anything like that, got carried over. But we're going to talk about that later on. My main point is I'm a zombies guy. You know, if I see a zombies bundle that's really enticing to me, I'm gonna be more interested in buying that, other than this Iron Burn Ultra skin.
What the hell was that?
You know, who's buying this? No shade to whoever made this design or anything like that. I just wish they used their time and effort in making, like, you know, more Black Ops 2 era type operator bundles, or for zombies guy like me, like give us a carver bundle. Look how sad this looks. Are you kidding me? Can we look at Mason? Mason has all of these. Mason's getting the Maya treatment.
This right here is cancer.
Look how much time is spent into one operator. Has 18 skins, but Carver has 0 skins, 0 bundles, 0, like nothing. We're just shafting this character again with Gray. They just don't care. I like that Dempsey's getting some cool ones. Nikolai's got one cool one. Okay, he's got one zombies cool one. But why not an OG Nikolai skin? Why not an OG Richtofen skin? Or an OG Takio skin? Like, man, I would buy one of those bundles in an instant. Like, I really hope they're saving these cool bundles for, you know, for DLC 4 and DLC 5, because, man, like, they're just missing out on so much cool stuff that they could be doing. Again, with Maya here, they didn't give a BO6 character one bundle. So if they're not giving us any bundles in Black Ops 7 for these characters, why not just carry forward all the other operator skins from BO6? Now, I know all of you were waiting for this one, and yes, I have to say it as well. Bring over the Black Ops 6 Requiem crew operator skins. Please, I am begging you. All they did was bring back the main quest operator rewards. That's all they did. They didn't bring back any bundles that we paid for, even though it's the same exact operator, but we're able to use them in Warzone.
Come join us in Verdansk. We miss you.
Why can't I use my Mr. Peaks? Why can't I use my Weaver Repairman on Astra Malorum? You know, for people who bought this bundle for Carver and this one, why can't they run this on Paradox? Like, I don't get it. I would love to rep this skin for Gray. I don't know why it's just not able to be used in Black Ops 7 at all. You know, with the whole carry forward thing going on, I'm not a big fan of people asking to bring Black Ops 6 weapons into Black Ops 7. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just asking, bring over the shit that I paid for. If it makes sense, why not? Why is it not there? Please give us a Carver skin. I'm begging you. Like, I really like this character. It just sucks. You know, Ted, the operator that, you know, you would get when pre-ordering this game, has gotten more bundles than anyone in the BO6 story. But yeah, please consider the zombies community a bit more while making these bundles. You know, throw in a couple gobblegums in there, throw in a wonder weapon skin, just something, please. And speaking of operators, why do we not have Brutus or Klaus? Those were BO6 pre-order operator skins. You know, why couldn't those get carried forward? If their whole thing was, you know, we want the aesthetic of the game to feel like Black Ops, how does Brutus or Klaus not feel like Black Ops? But we can have Ted running around and Terry Crews running around in multiplayer, but we can't have Brutus or Klaus? Also, weren't we gonna get a Call of the Dead skin for Harper? Like, was that not like leaked or in a blog post or something? I could have sworn I remember seeing a Call of the Dead Harper skin. Okay, so this one is a bit confusing, so bear with me. 2 out of the 8 crew members get their souls back after defeating the boss. For Ashes, it was Dempsey and Maya. For Astra, it was Gray and Nikolai. For Paradox, again, it was nobody. And for Totenreich, it was Weaver and Richtofen. And you get said operator skins for completing the Easter egg. Dempsey's operator skin, Astra, you get Nikolai's, and Totenreich, you get the Richtofen operator skin. Nowhere here does it say you get the Maya skin you get the gray skin, you get weaver skin, you know, only just these characters. If you go into your operators and you go to those certain operators that weren't as a reward, you still get them. They're just not displayed as a reward for some reason. I have no idea. Why do we have Carver? Why am I able to use Carver's skin? In the story, he technically doesn't have his soul yet. He's still ghost mode, my boy. Now, some of you might be saying, well, we got all the Requiem brew souls on launch. You could be right. I have no idea. All I know is there is no soul version of Takio. He's supposedly getting his soul back the next map, right? For the volcano map, along with Carver, if that's how the story's going. So why am I able to play with Carver right now? If everybody else has this operator skin, let me know in the comments. I have no idea because I just found this out and I have already, you know, completed all these Easter eggs. But yeah, that'll be some good insight for me. Moving on, I want to talk about the HUD scandal that happened earlier before the game's release. There were a bunch of HUDs that were in development, basically leaked that we would be possibly getting the Black Ops 3 Shadows of Evil HUD theme, as well as the Giant HUD theme. Where is that? There's no way they scrapped that. Right? Like, why not just throw that in the battle pass or something like that? You know, that would make me want to buy the battle pass. I haven't bought the battle pass since season 1, I think. Give us cool zombies HUD themes. Give us that Black Ops 1 HUD theme. Give us a Black Ops 2 theme. Like, really give us what we've been asking for as a community, what we would like to see. So I know recently within season 3 Reloaded, they fixed zombies HUD presets where the layout would not switch over from multiplayer or Warzone. You know, whatever you selected in zombies as your preset layout, it would stay in zombies and it wouldn't carry over to multiplayer or wouldn't mess up Warzone. They fixed that. That's great. But what happened to us being able to play around with the colors of the HUD and stuff like that? Like, what happened to giving us more customization to our HUDs? No, you're going to give us only one zombies HUD. Like, yeah, that's fine, but at least let us change the colors. You know, if you're not going to do it, at least let us do it. I could have sworn they said around launch that that was going to be a thing in the future in one of their COD pods, right? Something like that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of how they're proving to fix the zombies HUD presets and making them not carry over to multiplayer in Warzone. However, I did run into a little problem with the pickup prompt. Under HUD info visibility, you would have the pickup prompt off and sometimes it would just turn on. So I always have to go back in here and turn this off again. And also, in standard, I really dislike how the map is on the top right. I really wish how it was like in Cold War, or I think even Black Ops 6, the mini map would still be on the top left and the steps to Pack-a-Punch would be right under the mini map. I just think that would look a whole lot cleaner. You know, it feels just really off for me to look in the top right. If I'm in standard, I always just turn off the mini map. And then if I need to look at the map, I'll just go to my TAC map and use it like this. If you also find that being an issue for you, feel free to do that as well. When you're in the zombies lobby, and you go to zombies HUD presets and you go to layouts, it's kind of, you know, hard to tell what the game is actually going to look like. It's just a preview of the multiplayer HUD. You know, it's not that good of a preview. This is another thing where I doubt they'll change, but I will give credit to them that in game, it's a lot more cleaner and you can really see what you're customizing within the zombies layout. And you can also see that colors tab that has been unavailable since launch for every HUD theme. Now, I have had a big issue with safe area recently. If you just look at how the HUD is right now, if I felt like everything was too far out and I wanted everything a little bit closer, you would see that there's no issues right off the jump. However, if we flip around, look at the round change. Did you see that? It's completely off-centered. I honestly thought it was going to be aligned with everything and they had fixed it, but clearly not. This has been going on since Black Ops 6. That is a big issue with safe area. If they want everything to line up, it forces the player to play at the max safe area. And I also want to point out, while I was making this video, I also ran into an issue where whatever you ping, it just goes right behind your squad. So if you're playing with 4 players It really looks ugly. And also, what's going on with the music player? Like, I could have sworn there was gonna be a music player where we could listen to, you know, all the different lobby themes. You know, we had that in Cold War, and I'm pretty sure they said they were gonna bring it to Black Ops 6. I could be wrong about that, but I know for sure they said for Black Ops 7 that was a thing that was gonna be coming. We're 19 days left from season 4, and there is no sign of that whatsoever. You know, I would love to be just chilling in zombies and just hearing that Black Ops 2 damn theme. I think they did a phenomenal job with Cold War. And moving on, I want to talk about loading screens. I don't know if some of these are AI generated or what's going on here, but I really think we should have cooler zombies type backgrounds. You know, the ones that kind of resemble zombies is like this Crimson Shelter one, Ether Depth, Silent Entry, but it doesn't really look like zombies because there's soldiers there. Pathogen Lab, Deep Tank, but we got this with the beta, so only a few people were able to get this. Final Watt, Operating Unstable, and that's about it. This is just an operator skin, you know, it's not really... It wouldn't really look good as like a background. Yeah, maybe this is me being picky. Loading screens like showing a gun or the operator skin, it's kind of pointless. I mean, who even uses these instead of the loading screens for multiplayer maps or zombies maps to begin with? I'm mainly talking about these for your career page right here where it shows your favorite operator, the loading screen you picked as the background. And you can do this by going to customize profile and wallpaper. But yeah, maybe like one of like the Kino Theater or, you know, some cool area like that. I feel like would be a really cool loading screen. If that was in a bundle, I would definitely be more enticed to picking that up. So yeah, if you're gonna be doing loading screens, at least make them cool. Alrighty, moving on. We have slop events. Yes, slop events. Out of all the people that are watching this video right now, I bet only a select few of you have really been interested in these events. And that's just me being nice. This RoboCop event, this was just not it. You really had to only really like this event if you were interested in RoboCop, but I really think they need some zombies events. You know, we need more zombies events. We had a brand new map come out. There was no events for Totenreich. We had them for Mars Survival. You know, why didn't we get one for Totenreich? And I'm not talking no leaderboard event. None of that, dude. Get that out of here. We don't want none of those. We want fun events. Events that carry that replayability, that make us want to jump back in there, you know, and get really cool rewards, such as operator skins or, you know, wonder weapon skins. Just throw some at us. You've been drip feeding us. Or you said we'd be getting all the cake, right? Or all the ice cream and cherries, right? Didn't you say that? Why does it feel like I'm being fed off a slow feeder? Why do I not have certain things that keep me around playing? I shouldn't have to get on the game every day and force myself to think of things to get me back on the game. I should not have to feel that way. I should be scratching my neck, fiending to get back on this shit. And I just haven't felt that way for a while. Okay, let's talk Battle Pass. I only got the Season 1 Battle Pass because of the pre-order bonus, but Season 2 and 3 have just felt super lackluster. There is just no reason for a zombies player like me to throw 20 bucks or throw 30 bucks at this Battle Pass. You know, there's just nothing in here that's worth purchasing. Why not make a zombie-themed Battle Pass for one season, just have all the cosmetics and stuff zombies themed? I just feel like something like that would be so cool. I've been scrolling here for the past few minutes trying to find something worthy of this Battle Pass, and it's just no, I can't. And it's a perfect time to put in those zombies themed loading screens that I was talking about earlier. And where is Prop Hunt Warzone? That I know was in the Season 3 Reloaded blog post, because that was the one thing in Warzone for Season 3 Reloaded, or Season 3 in general, where I was actually excited to play Warzone. We only got Hot Pursuit and this loaded Resurgence Casual. Where's Prop Hunt? There's 19 days left and they just forgot about it. I haven't seen them tweet anything regarding Prop Hunt since this tweet. I also want to talk about Wonder Weapon skins. I feel like we need more Wonder Weapon skins, not just locked behind bundles, but also as rewards. I like what they did with the Blunder Gap Paradox Junction, completing the Easter egg on directed mode. I still haven't unlocked it because I'm not really a big fan of directed mode, but you know, I definitely plan to. It's sad to see the Necro Fluid Gauntlet only having one Wonder Weapon skin, and this was the first Wonder Weapon of Black Ops 7, and it's just gotten shafted. You know, the raygun is still getting Wonder Weapon skins, but it pains me that I paid for a Wonder Weapon skin back in Black Ops 6 that I hoped would carry forward over to Black Ops 7, but sadly, no. So I definitely am not purchasing any of these, even though it looks pretty cool. Just not going to waste my money. If they added the ones I originally paid for, maybe I'd be more enticed to buying more, but yeah, no. That's just how I am. I think I also bought one for the Raygun Mark II as well. Unfortunately, that one didn't carry forward as well. So I really haven't been buying Wonder Weapon skins in this game just for that reason. I wish they did more, you know, if they did cooler looking ones maybe, but they definitely need to do another one for the Gauntlet. You know, this one's just getting absolutely shafted. I would love to see like a red Gauntlet or, you know, something like that. Like this bundle looks way too similar to the original. Another thing I think would be really cool would be to give us a Black Ops 1 raygun or a World at War raygun, you know, and even if it's like low poly or it's like poorly rendered, that kind of gives it that old video game feel, that would be even better. That would be a bundle I definitely would buy. And you know, while we're on the raygun topic, I would also like to see the barrel turn red when Pack-a-Punch shoots red, but just doesn't have red in the barrel like the old games. I really wish they would just move away from this light blue. It doesn't really look good in game. It kind of just looks white. I'm only saying this because they recently changed how the Mark II reticle to red instead of just staying green when Pack-a-Punch. I think they did a really good job with that. That's basically under the same ballpark with the original raygun. Yeah, give us like a green version or like when it's not packed and a red version when it's packed. That small detail alone would just be miles better than what we have right now. Okay, what's going on with the balancing with all the Wonder Weapons within Black Ops 7 Zombies? Every single one of these, I mean, except for the Gauntlet, I would say most of these just feel so underpowering. You know, like they just don't really feel powerful to me. I really had high hopes for the Toten Star on Totenreich, but it just falls off within like the round 50s. It sucks because it really feels like it can carry you to the really high rounds, but it just doesn't. It falls off so quick. I just hope they throw out a little buff. To be perfectly honest with you, the Raygun Mark II is a laughing stock in Black Ops 7. This Wonder Weapon is so trash.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And it sucks saying that because of how good it was back in the Black Ops 2 days. This is by far one of the worst Wonder Weapons in the game. You know, make them powerful, make them feel good, make them feel worth going for. And that's going to bring me right into my next point. Bring back Wonder Weapon upgrade quests. Whatever happened to those? All the Wonder Weapon crafting steps all feel so similar and repetitive. You know, with the Necrofluid Gauntlet, how you go to the 3 different teleporters around the map, or with the LGM-1, how you have to kill Oscar 3 different times. They just make easy steps to get the Wonder Weapon, and you Pack-a-Punch it 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and then you're set. That's it. That's it for the Wonder Weapon. There's no upgrade quest. It just feels kind of lackluster. I really love the Apothecant Servant upgrade, you know, back on Revelations. You couldn't Pack-a-Punch it right away, but you could do an upgrade quest that would lead you to Pack-a-Punch it. Or like the staffs on Origins, how you can craft the staffs, but there's also a whole other upgrade quest, and they just don't really do that no more. Put some more time into the Wonder Weapon steps and make those really fun and enjoying and new and refreshing all at the same time, as well as building upon that and giving them unique upgrade quests. Okay, now let's go back to some curse stuff. We have no way to customize your starting pistol in Curse. Now, this one is a big one for me. I think I had this idea within my first game of Curse in Black Ops 7. On launch when it came out. I wasn't a fan of not being able to customize your starting pistol, not with the attachments, more so with the camo or, you know, a weapon skin, something of that sort, where you don't have any attachments but you still get the look. My point became more apparent once the Dempsey bundle released, where you had the classic Mustang and Sally 1911, that silver shininess. We knew we weren't going to get that in Cursed at all unless we got it from the box. The only way we were going to ever get that classic feel is by getting the 1911s again from the box. So it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, you know, but I still bought the bundle with that in mind. it just pains me that because of how this was designed, we most likely are not gonna see that ever. But I thought it would be cool to just throw it in this video and just hope that a Treyarch dev sees this. And I just think if we had that, oh my god, it would be so much better. With the vril sphere relic equipped, you're able to bypass that 4 perk limit through TED tasks. When you get that random round where Mr. Peak spawns and he drops a bunch of perks on the ground, yeah, that does not bypass the perk limit. It's kind of like a why'd you do it here but not there kind of scenario. I'm pretty sure it's because the perk cans are on the ground. I think with this relic equipped and you do TED tasks and you get a perk but you don't drink it right away, I think if you drop it and then drink it, I think that doesn't bypass it. I could be wrong on that, but I kind of think that's a bummer. I hope that gets changed at one point. Okay, next up, I want to talk about augments being reset on Black Ops 7 when going into Black Ops 6. Yeah, I'm not sure what happens when you go back and forth between BO6 and BO7. Something with the augments is messing up. I'm not sure if this was patched already, but I'm just throwing this in there just in case, because yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are even scared to open BO6 because of how buggy that is. And I feel like that leads me right into my next one, which is bring the Black Ops 6 maps into BO7. Please, come on, everybody's waiting to experience Terminus and Citadel and Shattered and Reckoning all on Cursed. We need this. You know, looking at this screen and, you know, seeing how many relics I have, it's very easy now to just put on the easy relics and just not have, you know, too hard of a time and still getting tier 3, which is nice and all, but I also want to feel like I'm being rewarded if I'm giving myself a challenge. And that brings me into wanting a tier 4 and tier 5. You guys can drop in the comments what you think would be great tier 4 and tier 5s. Whatever they are, I just feel like we need to have more in Curse. And that encourages the player to, you know, put on harder relics that I may not use every single game, you know, just to get to that tier 4 and 5. You know, make it even harder, make the bar even longer to get to tier 4 and 5. And for those people who are saying that, oh, why do you want to feel rewarded in Curse? Like, the whole point of the mode is to, you know, challenge you. Well, it literally says Cursed Not Doomed. Golden Armor, Ultra Rarity, and Tier 4 Pap is just kind of not enough, you know? I want something else. Now, would this mean they have to make another column after Wicked? You know, maybe. Okay, so now we're going to be bringing up Ultra Rarity tools and them not appearing in the box. As of Season 3 Reloaded, they announced that Ultra Rarity tools would be in the box. They'd be rare to get. Yeah, I don't know how many games I've played since Season 3 Reloaded came out, how many times I've hit the box, and I have not seen that Ultra Rarity tool one time. And trust me, man, I'd be looking to see if I'm ever gonna get proven wrong, but maybe they can make it more of a chance to appear in the mystery box, you know. I mean, not too much of a chance to appear in the mystery box because obviously it's one of the most powerful things in game, but you know, I was on round 60 plus, you know, spending like over 70,000 points on just the box trying to get the MP40, and man, not once did I see that Ultra Rarity tool. Another thing, I would love to see Ultra Rarity tool wallbuy. Think how cool that would be, especially when you're running the Mangler helmet relic where it removes your access to your arsenal, because with that relic on, there's no way to get Ultra Rarity unless it's through the box. So why not make it a wallbuy? Maybe just throw it somewhere on the map at rounds, you know, 60 through 80. Obviously, if it's on the wall, you'd probably have to use it for points, and you know, you craft rarity through salvage. So maybe there would be a cool mechanic to still use salvage. But, and one more thing with the Ultra Rarity tools, I would love to see the Ultra Rarity tool appear in TED Task rewards. I don't know why they didn't just add that as well in Season 3 Reloaded, but I think that's a missed opportunity, and that would be a great opportunity if they added that. As I was just making this video, I thought of a great idea. When you complete an Easter egg and you hit continue, you're gifted a bunch of loot once you return. Why not throw in some Ultra Rarity tools? Why are there just only legendary tools there? You know, you most likely already have legendary rarity if you're going into the boss. I just really feel like that would entice the player to keep going. It might be a bug that I'm experiencing. It might not be, but I thought I would just throw it in here anyways. When I'm doing a TED task and I get all the way up to legendary, when I open the reward box, I only get 3 out of 4 of the rewards. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work in game. Why is it just 1 or 2 things in my legendary box? I know there's a small but strong community for devs Dead Ops Arcade. I love the idea of the mode. I think it's very cool. I just wish it was a little easier. I'm not the biggest Dead Ops player, but when I do play it from time to time, I can't really get that high of a round or progress very much, usually dying early on. And that could be just me. I don't really know how to play Dead Ops. I may not know all the bits and secrets to how to really get powerful in Dead Ops. Yeah, I wish there was just a little bit more accessibility within the mode, just to make it a little easier. Maybe for someone who's never played Dead Ops Arcade before, I feel like the casual, normal, hardcore just isn't enough. I'm gonna throw in another bonus here. I don't know if this has only happened to me. Like I said, I don't really play Dead Ops that much, but if any of you have experienced the same thing, please let me know in the comments. But while I was doing this run of Dead Ops Arcade, I wasn't able to access any gobblegums whatsoever. If I pause and then resume, you'll see the gobblegums come back, but every time I'm trying to access my gobblegum inventory, it just instantly disappears. Now I want to talk about gobblegums. Why on earth did we not get a single new gobblegum for season 3 at all? I thought at least they were saving them for season 3 reloaded, but no, they didn't give us any new gobblegum. Like, why? Like, please give us some new gobblegums to play with. I hate the whole idea of, oh, they don't want us to be too overpowered in zombies. It's a PvE mode. Most of my fun is, getting to that OP state where just nothing can take me down. That's the whole point of building up within zombie. And I feel like they just keep taking that away from us. The gnome in Totenreich just got patched. Me, personally, I thought it was fine. Why are we patching side Easter eggs? Why are they saying they're too powerful? They're fun. They removed the wall jump while using a gnome. You know how fun and ridiculous that was? Now I've lost interest in wanting to do the gnome Easter egg, Now I don't feel like doing it because it's really not that fun. You can't wall jump. You can only use it once around now, I think. Yeah, that really sucks. Believe it or not, some people don't like gobblegums. Some people just play games without using gobblegums entirely. They made a setting to turn off the visibility of gobblegums on your right side. So now on my screen, you will see that even though I have gobblegums in my stack, you just can't see them. However, you're still able to access them. You can hear the UI when I'm pressing right on the D-pad, going down, getting out of it. It's there. I can use gobblegum, but I can't see them because I turned it off. Obviously, I expected that. What I would like is having this feature off, but if I still wanted to use gobblegums, right, and I pressed right on the D-pad, then they would appear and I would be able to select or exit out of that and they would go away. Why is it not like that? Oh, see, I just accidentally used a gobblegum, that I didn't even see. The only way for me to see what gobblegums I have is if it's just fully on the whole time. Only in Black Ops Royale. It's the mystery box we all know and love with its original sound, and we just don't get that in the regular zombies mode. At first they said it was a licensing issue, but now they have no argument. And it's an absolute shame that in Paradox Junction, we got the original mystery box, but with no jingle.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, on to the next thing. I hope I'm wrong about this one. The MP40 legacy weapon that's currently in Zombies with Season 3 Reloaded is only on Totenreich. Why? Why is it exclusively on Totenreich? Is the Olympia gonna be exclusively on the Volcano map and it's not gonna be on Totenreich or Paradox or any of the other maps? Why are we doing that? We should have them in every map. Okay, next up, we're gonna be talking a little bit about zombie hit scaling. This one has come to my attention a lot more as, Totenreich came out. It was a harder map, not many areas to really openly train. There's a lot of tight corners and stuff. So in the high rounds, it does get a little sketchy. You get hit and down so quickly. Even when you have golden armor, you're in the mid 60s, 70s. Yo, one hit fully depletes all 3 of your armor. 2 hits, you're down. Zombies are so fast. You have little to no time to react. I don't know if it has to do with armored zombies specifically, taking longer to kill. Maybe they can pull back a little bit on how fast they hit or, how much damage they do, but something about it just feels super unbalanced to me. Okay, this next thing is super huge because it regards side Easter eggs not being able to be completed due to save and quit. Since the launch launch of Black Ops 6, this save and quit feature, man, I really love the idea of it on paper. When you see how it actually functions, it's just so buggy. It just hurts the overall experience a bit. You know, there's bugs where you would save and quit and the game wouldn't save. You would load back in and you don't have your mule kick weapon. And now we're running into this constant bug where Treyarch implements these great side Easter eggs and they just get completely soft locked by save and quit. This one in particular I'm going to be talking about is the one on Totenreich, the Richthofen side Easter egg. If you want to fully experience the side Easter egg, you cannot save and quit. You have to play the game fully. And this is an issue that's happened to me the first time I was doing the side Easter egg, and it also almost made me not want to do it. It's only because I had to do it for the relic. Yeah, I learned the hard way. Had to do this side Easter egg a couple times just to do that, and it sucked because I kept getting soft locked and I didn't know why. And this is specifically with getting the jail cell open, one of the uranium parts and the little walkie-talkie radio thing underneath the jail cell bench. Side Easter egg for Richthofen, you have to melee macchiato the trash can and then it stuns you a bit, and you're then able to search the trash can and find the pendant. However, if you save and quit and you go back in, even with melee macchiato, no matter what, no matter how many times you punch it, no matter how many different angles you try to punch it, it ain't punching, okay? And it's not gonna work. You're soft locked out of it. You have to fully restart the game and play it all the way through just to do that side Easter egg. Doesn't mean they can't patch that, they can't fix it. Fingers crossed. All right, we got a couple more here. I'm just gonna be throwing them at you. We got reports of calling cards not being unlocked in Cursed. For some reason, they only are able to be unlocked in standard right now and not on Cursed. It doesn't matter if you're doing it correctly. If you're on Cursed, some of these calling cards just won't unlock. That is a pretty big thing that I think needs to be addressed. So this great idea has been floating around on Twitter, courtesy to Zone X and his community. This is a great accessibility idea for deaf people and people who just have trouble hearing, where they struggle to find Mr. Peaks when he spawns in randomly in Cursed. And they came up with a nice workaround where there would be an indicator that would pop up at the top of your screen or wherever Peaks would be, and they call it Peaks off screen. So Peaks is nearby outside your field of view, and the indicator appears as a directional arc glowing at the top of your screen. I feel like that would be a great indicator for when Mr. Peaks spawns, because people like myself, I don't even have trouble hearing. I just sometimes have YouTube playing or some music playing in the background and not so much zombies. Sometimes I miss Mr. Peaks. I just don't hear the laugh. There's nothing visually on screen unless he's in my field of view. Obviously, you see where that comes in play with people who have trouble hearing, and I think that would be a great idea if Treyarch could somehow implement that. Shout out to Zone X and his community. And the last idea I have is when you're in a public match and you're playing solo just with 3 other people, let's say they all want to exfil. They made it a feature where if you don't want to exfil, you can stay. However, if you choose to stay, it doesn't really transform it into a solo game. You're still on the public server. So if you want to pause, you don't pause instantly. You got to press the pause menu and then click pause game. But then there's just leave match. There's no save and quit. So maybe if there's some way to implement a game being on a public server, switching it over to a solo server, since they're both always online, you know, that's their whole thing. You have to be online. Why not just be able to save and quit public matches if you're just by yourself, you know? Also, I searched for a tier 3 Cursed public match and it put me in a tier 0. I'm guessing it's tier 1 because it only has perk cost never decrease, but yeah, what's up with that? I thought they fixed that. Alrighty, that is 50, if not 50-ish things that I think could definitely be improved in Black Ops 7. You know, at the end of the day, I got nothing but love for this game. With all my blood, sweat, and tears, no matter how rough it may be, you know, I've always still been here. You know, I love zombies. Black Ops 7 is not that bad of a game, especially the zombies mode. A lot of people, I feel like, overlook the zombies mode because their first impressions of Black Ops 7 was that campaign herper boss, you know? Not a lot of people, including any of my friends, wanted to give this game a try, and I just really feel like they're missing out. That being said, I'm not saying that this game is perfect. This game definitely has some flaws, and I just don't want it to be swept under the rug. I'm making this video so it doesn't get swept under the rug. I want someone at Activision or Treyarch to see this video and really take into consideration just not everything on the Trello board is what needs to be fixed. You know, there's hundreds of hundreds of other things that still aren't even addressed. So, you know, make this mode the best it could possibly be. I want nothing but the best for this mode. I want this mode to go out in a bang this year with DLC 4 and DLC 5. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that sub button if you're an OG Zombies fan like me who loves everything zombies. I'm gonna be putting out some freaking bangers on the channel soon. So stay tuned and I'm out, guys. Peace.